USA basketball head coach Cheryl Reeve recently avoided answering questions about Caitlin Clark after a game where Clark led the Indiana Fever to victory over the Minnesota Lynx. Fans and analysts are buzzing about why Reeve dodged questions about one of the league's brightest rising stars. Clark has been making waves all season, and this game was no exception. From the start, it was clear she was on a mission. Every time she touched the ball, the crowd's energy shifted. By the fourth quarter, Clark was hitting clutch shots, making smart passes, and doing everything expected from a top-tier player. Her impressive stats, including points, assists, and rebounds, prove why she is one of the hottest talents in the WNBA right now. It's likely Clark was motivated to show Reeve what she missed by not choosing her for Team USA, making a statement in front of everyone. On the other hand, the Minnesota Lynx had a rough night. Their defense, usually strong, looked shaky at times, unable to contain Clark. Their offense wasn't much better, struggling to find rhythm and shooting poorly. The Lynx's frustration was visible, especially as the game slipped away in the fourth quarter. They were up by 7 points entering the final period, but a few quick threes from the Indiana Fever turned the tide. The Lynx's inability to respond effectively on offense added to their misery. It was one of those games where nothing seemed to click for them. Fan reaction was another interesting aspect of the game. Despite being the away team, Caitlin Clark had significant support in the crowd. Every time she made a play, the cheers grew louder. It felt almost like a home game for her at times. This kind of support can really boost a player's performance, and it seemed to do just that for Clark. The atmosphere in the arena was electric, with fans on the edge of their seats, especially during tense moments. The home crowd, initially supportive of the Lynx, couldn't help but admire Clark's prowess. By the end of the game, it felt like she'd won over even the most die-hard Minnesota fans. When Reeve first spoke to the media, her tone was low-spirited.
We just, I told him I thought defensively we played.
A stark contrast to the confident comments she made before the game. The weight of the defeat seemed to hit her hard, and she struggled to find the right words. Reeve's interaction with the media appeared reluctant, with questions about Clark met with brief, almost indefinite responses. It seemed like she was trying to avoid giving Clark any more attention than she already had. Instead of acknowledging Clark's stellar performance, Reeve focused more on her own team's shortcomings, discussing defensive lapses and offensive struggles. There was a noticeable gap when it came to discussing Clark, as if mentioning her name was a painful reminder of the loss.
I thought we had end of shot clock defense that gave up.
Emotionally, Reeve appeared on edge. The loss was not just a blow to her team, but also to her personally. Her body language was a giveaway, drooping shoulders, a softer voice, and hesitance that wasn't there before. It seemed like she was second-guessing some of her decisions, particularly the pre-game comments that might have fired up Clark even more. In the heat of the moment, emotions run high, and for Reeve, this game was a perfect storm of frustration and disappointment. As the head coach of Team USA, Reeve's words and actions carry significant weight. Her reluctance to acknowledge Caitlin Clark's performance raised questions about how she views emerging talent. Team USA is built on the best of the best, and part of Reeve's job is to identify and nurture top players regardless of personal biases. This incident raises a debate about whether Coach Reeve can separate her responsibilities from her national team duties. It's crucial for a coach at that level to support rising stars, even if it means their team might suffer in a particular game. Many have wondered why Clark didn't make Team USA. Clark's performance, along with Reeve's reaction, highlights her growing influence in the WNBA. Clark has been on a roll, and this game added to her accomplishments. Her ability to dominate the court and attract a crowd shows her potential for the sport. Reeve's struggle to mention Clark's name highlights how much Clark is impacting the game. For a player so early in her career to make such a significant impact is impressive. It's not just about the points she scores, it's about how she changes the game's dynamic and forces opponents to adapt. This kind of influence is a hallmark of true superstars. Clark gets the crowd involved, and her presence boosts attendance, viewership, and generates buzz. Every time she steps on the court, she puts on a show that fans want to see. The game against the Lynx showcased her growing popularity. The energy in the arena and the cheers every time she touched the ball indicate her rising fame. The WNBA has been looking to increase its profile, and having stars like Clark is crucial. Her performances draw in fans, including those new to the WNBA who've heard about her. Many players have praised Clark for her outstanding play. Teammates from the Indiana Fever have expressed how causing it is to play with her. Opposing players acknowledge that Clark is a force to be reckoned with and that facing her on the court is always a challenge. Coaches have also commented, suggesting that Reeve's reluctance to discuss Clark might stem from frustration and competitive spirit. This incident reminds us that emotions can run high in competition and sometimes cloud judgment. Fans have been very vocal on social media, with buzz around Clark's performance being electric. Platforms like Twitter and Instagram are flooded with clips of her key plays, and fans are praising her. Many are criticizing Reeve for not giving Clark the credit she deserves, with some suggesting that Reeve's comments were unsportsmanlike. Clark has built a significant following, and her fans are eager to defend her and celebrate her successes. The broader sports community has noticed, with commentators highlighting how fan enthusiasm shows Clark's growing influence in the league. Sports analysts have discussed the implications of this incident for the WNBA and women's basketball. Some experts believe Reeve's comments, or lack thereof, highlight a potential issue with how emerging talent is recognized and brought up within the league. There is a sense that the WNBA needs to fully embrace its rising stars to grow its audience and increase visibility. Analysts also point out that Clark's ability to draw passionate reactions from both fans and critics shows her marketability and potential to become a foundation of the league's future. This moment is seen as pivotal for the WNBA, shaping its approach to promoting players and engaging with fans. The opportunity to bring a new generation into the game is one that the WNBA should snatch. That's all for this video.